Okay, so as I get us started this afternoon, I want to make a couple of announcements because I keep forgetting to make the announcements. So I'll direct you to the DAYA website for the actual details of these things because I'm not going to say letter by letter a URL for you. So Dale Mishra, who is my music teacher from India and one of our family members, our Indian family on the continent of India, he's going to be performing a concert with his father, Pandit Shivnath Mishra, and his son, Krishna Mishra, all on sitar, with Debu's nephew, Prashant Mishra, on the tablas. So this will be Saturday, September 19th at 8 p.m. PST, which is Sunday morning for them. So Saturday evening for us, Sunday morning for them. So they'll play evening ragas for us, but they'll play them in the morning in their own city, the city of Varanasi. That is listed on the DAYA Foundation website. Also, our 200-hour yoga teacher training is going to start up again soon, and there are several students who have been released from prison in the time that COVID-19 has been happening, and they had begun their 200-hour yoga teacher training while they were incarcerated. So they want to finish the training. We got suspended because all of the volunteer programs, all of the visitors, everything is suspended right now, so we're in Shavasana. But they're welcome to begin their training from Module 1 and complete it all the way through Module 4 this fall. So to support them, because they don't have the financial resource for some of the things that they need, like a Zoom connection, a Wi-Fi, and some of the books that are part of the program, as well as the tuition is greatly discounted but not completely zero. There is a place on our website to donate on their behalf if you'd like to. You can look at the prison yoga teacher training programs and see that there. So, okay, glad to see you guys. Now I won't think later today, oh, I forgot to say those announcements. Once again, I forgot because now I didn't forget. All right, let's sit for a few minutes for our practice to begin. I'm going to push back slightly from my computer. Here we go. Glad to see you all. So you can rest your hands in your lap, please, and you're welcome to close your eyes. And start to bring your attention in as if you were a fisherman and you're reeling in the nets and you're bringing in your mind and your attention to come back home. So imagine bringing your mind in from past rumination and from future fantasy. Reel your mind back in from your cravings, desires, impulses, wanting, the mind of wanting. Bring your mind back in away from your aversions, your resistances, the mind of not wanting. And bring your awareness back away from the story about yourself or the story about somebody else. So you arrive in the place in your heart that doesn't need a narrative and is resting in the abode of the heart. When you have a sense of yourself arriving in this abode, which is in your body, but also we think of it as in the heart center. When you have a sense of arriving there, let your inhale become gradually circumferentially larger, and then slowly let it recede. So there's going to be a pulsation for the inhale to expand, and the exhale to soften. For the inhale to expand, a little bit more expanse, for your exhale to soften. And do that slowly enough that you sense like each incremental expansion is just a tiny bit more, not a whole yardstick more, but just a tiny bit more expansion. And you're slowly stretching the inner body as when a balloon becomes ever more stretched by the breath going into it. Now over the next 3 or 4 breath cycles, as you sense that expanding, try to also let your awareness now include the others who are practicing with you. So you can hear the sound of my voice and you know that I'm here with you. You may or may not know the others who are here in the Zoom room, in this virtual class, but try to sense that you're not practicing alone. In fact, you have companions here for this practice. And you are being sensed by them right now. You are one of their companions. And please enjoy one more breath cycle and then bring your palms together at your heart. We'll chant Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu. Means may this practice that we share together, Saha, may this together experience be protective, nourishing, vigorous where needed. May there be luminosity, may there be the end of impatience. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvinnavaritamastu, Madhivishavai. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvinnavaritamastu, Madhivishavai. Sahana Vavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Saviryam Karavavai, Tejasvinnavaritamastu, Madhivishavai. Om Shanti Om Shanti Shanti Om. And with your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Please release your hands and open your eyes. And this afternoon we're going to do some pranayama from standing. So we are going to go directly to standing. I'm going to switch my camera. I have to find the other camera, just a moment. Gotta scroll down the list of who's here. So please come up to stand and take a stance we call just as wide as your yoga mat, like a baby horse stance, not the widest horse stance possible. You can bend the knees slightly when you get there. So in this gentle stance, like knees bent, you can have the toes and the knees turning out slightly. We're going to make fists and use this breathing practice that helps us to kind of disarm maybe the rajas that comes at the middle of the day. We're in the rajasic period of the day right now, and we don't want that to kind of infiltrate our practice in an unhelpful manner. So you bend the knees, sit down into your hips and pelvis. Inhale, swing back. Exhale, fly the fingers open. Five, four, three, two, one. Now inhale, take both arms up, breathe in through your nose. Make the feet parallel and exhale, come down, Uttanasana. Take a deep breath in and allow your torso to just drift away from the legs like a curtain on a window. And exhale to bow deeply towards your legs. Let's repeat that. Rise up to standing, bend your knees, and begin with the inhale. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale, arms up overhead. Make your feet parallel and come down. Glide down to Uttanasana, a little bit like a ragdoll. It's okay to bend your knees. Then inhale, allow your torso to drift away from your thighs. And exhale to release back down towards your Uttanasana. Now rise up to standing, please. And let's go heel toe out. Jazz dance warm-up position, bend your knees, come on down. Yep, with the knees bent, take your gaze down towards the floor. And as you press out against the knees, stretch your inner thighs out towards your knees. Now what we'll do here, you've got this position, it's okay for the shoulders to come up towards your ears. In other words, for the torso to kind of dangle down from the shoulders, as if the t-shirt on the clothesline from the clothespins. And what we're going to do is inhale into the lower 2/3 of the torso, and then we'll exhale and blow out, making a sound. So please inhale through the nose, first and middle sections of the torso. Again, 4 times more. Three more. Twice more. Last one. And then push down, rise up, make your feet parallel, and come down like a rag doll to Prasarita Padottanasana. And I'm going to ask you here to now start your Ujjayi breathing, in through your nose and out through your nose. And sense how you can draw your mind in from rumination of past or fantasy of future. Bring your mind back into the present, releasing both a craving and aversion, wanting mind, not wanting mind. And also draw yourself back into your center, away from the story about self or even the story about other. And now place your hands and walk yourself into downward facing dog pose. If that means turning on your mat, of course, go ahead and do so. If you have a crisscross mat like I do, you can simply step backwards on the long mat. And again, allow your breath now to guide you in releasing thoughts of past, thoughts of future. Releasing thoughts of wanting mind and also not wanting mind. And to the extent you're able to, also surrendering the narrative about yourself or any narrative you have about other. And I'm going to ask you to roll up to your toes, stretch your feet for a moment, and then lower your knees down to the floor. Sit back to kneeling, and please reach for your yoga strap. And let the strap unwind. We'll make it into a loop. I'm going to recommend two things here in addition to your strap. One is a blanket, and the other one is a block. My strap's a little bit tangled, so get yours together while I figure mine out. I gotta sort it through. There we go. Okay, so the length of the strap, the size of your strap, is going to be based on your flexibility, your capacity. And the block is going to be for one of your feet, and the blanket is going to actually be for your hips. And those of you who've been here since we've been online with COVID-19, you're going to recognize this strategy. If you haven't been here just yet for this, unfold the blanket and then roll it. So you're going to roll this sort of long, we sometimes call it the cannoli roll blanket. And I want that to be snugly rolled because it should be firm. Okay, and then you're going to lie on your back. Let me shift this so you can still hear me well enough. When you lie down, put the blanket to your right. Okay, and then reach up with your right foot to place it inside the strap. And the way I'm going to recommend you hold the strap is to put your right hand in the strap as well. Reach under from the leg side of your strap, not from the head side. And then curl the strap until it's small enough or long enough, whichever word you want to use for that, so that it's got your wrist and your foot. So this is our starting position. Now, when you're inhaling, I'm going to ask you to energize both legs and to do that really thoughtfully. And then as you exhale, curl your torso up towards your right leg and draw your right leg down towards your torso. And then inhale, press up with your right leg as you lower your torso and your head back to the floor. And exhale to curl up. Inhale to lower down. Make the right leg strong so your right arm is depending on it as you gently place your head back to the floor. Curl up with your exhale. Roll down with your inhale. One more time, curl up. And inhale to roll down. Now stay in your position for the luxury of simply breathing in and breathing out. If you're someone whose leg is more flexible and you don't actually need the strap, it's okay to go without. If you're someone whose leg is less flexible and your leg doesn't yet get to 90 degrees up from your hips, please bend your right knee so that your thigh is at least coming towards your torso. We use the breath here to help reel the mind back in, like a fisherman drawing in the nets, releasing whatever was in the net out to the sea. So thoughts of past are released, the net comes back in. Thoughts of future can be released, and the net comes back in. Wanting mind can be released, let it drift to the ocean as you reel the net of attention back home. Not wanting mind can be released off to the ocean as you let the net bring you back home. And thoughts of self and other can also be released. So the net comes back home and it's beautifully empty. That means it's not now cluttered. Your attention comes back and it's not now cluttered. And so let's take the yoga strap off of your right foot and really slowly, with full energy in your right leg, lower it down. Slowly, slowly. When your right leg reaches the ground, let it become completely limp. Now we're going to use the blanket purposely. So what you're going to do is bend your right knee, place your foot on the floor, roll your right hip up, and sneak the blanket under the outside of your hip and your trochanter. And take your right leg up into the strap. Loop your hand in there with your leg, with your foot. Rotate your right knee and toes to your right. And as you go out to the side, take note that the blanket is actually supporting you not to tip over to your right. Now gravity is your friend here, keeps you grounded. And at the same time, gravity is like, it's a temptation for your body to tip to the right. So we've prevented that temptation. And now gravity can actually help you to stretch your inner leg, the inseam of your right leg. Oh, good. As you center your head, or you can choose to turn your head to your left. Sometimes that's a nice counterbalance. Now allow the inhale to go from deep inside your low belly, down the length of your right leg into your right heel. You're imagining the breath doing that. Of course, you don't have lungs in your legs, but you can imagine this pathway. Now imagine your mind just continually coming back home, attention coming home, particularly during the exhale. Now keeping your left leg and hip grounded. When you next exhale, tone your left low belly and slowly raise your right leg back up. When you come up, loop the strap off of your foot, take the blanket out from under, and slowly, slowly lower your right leg. Keep it dynamic and strong as you're going down. When you get about an inch from the floor, then tone the leg very completely and then let it drop to the ground. Notice what's happening in your mind. And notice the ecological microsystem of your right leg relative to your left leg. Okay, now to the other side. So what you're going to do is move your blanket over so it's ready for you when you need it. And take your left foot up into the strap. So this is the first part of our sequence for your leg. So we just go straight up to start. You wrap the strap around. Make sure the rest of the strap is not going to hit you in the face. And as you go up with your left leg, use your in-breath. Energize both legs. And then exhale to curl up. You can also bring your leg down towards your head. And then inhale to lay back down. So the strength of your left leg helps you to lower your torso and your head slowly. And exhale to curl up. Inhale, roll down. Exhale to curl up. Inhale, glide down. Exhale, glide up. Inhale to glide down. And exhale to curl up. And now as you inhale to come down, we're going to stay for several breath cycles where you can imagine the fisherman's net is being reeled in. And each time you reel the net in, you've released what was in it. Releasing the past, rumination. Releasing the future, the fantasy, the over-planning, the pursuit of something that's not right now happening in this moment. Invite your craving mind to be released off to the ocean while the attention, the net of your attention comes back home. And the mind of aversion is also, you can release that out to the ocean and bring the net of your attention back home. Releasing also the narrative about self and other. The story you say about yourself, the story you're telling yourself about other. And keeping your left leg dynamic, take the strap off of your left foot and lower it slowly down, keeping it dynamic as you go so that you've got this tone to your left leg as it comes down and down. And you get about an inch from the floor, let it become more dynamic, even squeeze your left butt muscles, and then let your leg go limp. Relax your mind. Now bend your left knee, place your foot on the floor, and roll a little bit to your right. So you can just take this blanket under the outside of your left hip and your left trochanter. Okay, and then take your left foot up into your strap. Place your left hand back in the loop with your left foot. And as you rotate your left toes and your left knee out to the side, then just go really slowly out to your left to find out where's the sweet spot for your body in this experience. When you find that sweet spot, then simply breathe in, breathe out, and watch your body from this central place of attention that is not wandering into what we call the 6 stations of the mind. Those 6 stations are past and future, self and other, aversion and desire. So just breathing in and watching from a place of clear attention. What is happening right now in your body, in your breath, with your senses. So we're training the mind how to become present, how to become stable in the here and now. And then when you next inhale, prepare yourself to use the exhale and your right low belly to anchor yourself as you raise your left leg back up. And release your foot from the strap. And as you take your left leg out, go slowly. So you're going to be really dynamic. Oh, move the blanket. Be really dynamic about 1 inch from the floor, even squeezing the back of your left butt. And then let your left leg go limp against the ground. Invite your mind also to become limp, relaxed. You now take your block, place it. Let me show this. I'm going to show it to you from where I am right now, but then I'm going to do it in the same direction that you're doing it, so you don't need your strap right now. So you're going to be bending, in a moment you're going to bend your right knee to go across to your left, but let me show you when I bend my left knee, because you can then see, you're going to come over to support your shin with the block, right? And so that means that you might even lie on your left side to get this set up, so this will be your right leg, and then you have your blanket, which is going to be there alongside the back of your spine. So let me show you that now, because I'm going to show you the same direction that you're going. So I switch my blanket about to the other side. And what you're going to do is bring your right knee up, go over for your right shin to be on the blanket, and you see how you've got this blanket behind you, right shin on the block, excuse me. And this blanket you place behind your spine so that you don't have to be able to make it all the way down to the floor. What I would recommend is that this blanket, please watch here, it only goes up your back as high as the space right behind your heart. So you have permission for your shoulder to come down to the floor, but you also have support at your thoracic spine. And I know that not everybody's right arm is going to come all the way to the floor, so you can employ a second block. If you place that, you can place your wrist up on it, so you actually have support right there too. And try to keep your right shin stable on the block. You can use your left hand for that. You're welcome to turn your gaze to your right if that suits your neck and shoulder flexibility. And breathing in, when you exhale next, Start bringing your right hip back, lower your right arm down, scooch the blanket so you can roll down to a moment that looks like Shavasana. Let the right leg go limp. Let the right arm be also limp. Good. And then please switch your block and your blanket. And so you set that up. And then what you're going to do is switch the hips just slightly so you can take the left shin over to your block. Place your right hand on your left knee. And the blanket that's behind you can come up just as high as even the space between your shoulder blades. Right? So you have support as you reach back, and if your upper back and shoulder are not as bendy as they would need to be, you can put a block there for your hand to rest on. That is, of course, optional. It has to be based on your own experience of yourself. So let's imagine again that you're able to bring your attention back in, releasing the net, releasing what's in the net, right? So the thoughts of future, they go out to the ocean. Thoughts of past, they go back to the ocean. Thoughts of liking and not liking, wanting and not wanting, they are released. Thoughts of self and other, they are also released. And then with an inhalation, you're going to release your left arm, move the blanket, start rolling your left hip back to the floor, and then let your left leg come out like a starfish, relaxing on the floor. It can be limp. Take notice. What's happening in just the present moment, from a place of your clear and present attention. I'd like you to then bend both knees, please, and roll to your side. And use both hands to come up, and let's see what your downward facing dog pose feels like at this time. So you can place the hands and step yourself back. And keep your blanket roll, but put it to the side so it's not in your way. So I'm going to recommend that you start to sense that downward facing dog pose is a place where you get to have refuge, refuge from the mayhem of life, refuge from distractions, refuge from misperception. We say in yoga there are 5 kinds of knowing, and there's misperception, fantasy, memory, deep sleep or ignorance, and then also clear perception. So take refuge from the unhelpful aspects of the mind, and sense the clear attention you can have from the abode of your heart. And then please come forward to plank, touch your knees down, and sit back to kneeling, and take your blanket roll, excuse me, and place it on your yoga mat so it's lengthwise like this. You're going to be placing your lower belly on the blanket here, and then this will be your chest, and then here's your head. This is for Salombasana, which we're going to do as a kind of squeeze-release technique so that the back of the body gets to squeeze and then release, squeeze and release. And this is leading us towards Shavasana. So what you do here is come down so your pubic bone is just off the very edge of the blanket there, and your chest and abdomen are supported by the blanket. You can center your forehead, take your arms back towards your feet. You can do palms face up. And then as you root your tailbone, also root your thighs, your kneecaps, the tops of your feet. Roll your shoulders back, raise your heart up. And then as you inhale, imagine yourself actually on that ocean that I was talking about, with a clear heart, with a clear net of attention. Sweep the arms wide. And exhale, arms back towards your feet. The pose will come slightly down. Then inhale to take flight. The pose can go slightly up. And exhale, glide down based on whatever your exhale breath does. We're going to take flight again 3 times more. So inhale, rise up. Squeeze the back of your body. And exhale. Let the exhale soften the pose, but don't take it all the way back down. Twice more. Inhale, arms wide. And exhale, glide back with both arms. And then inhale, rise up. And exhale, lower down and turn your head to your right. And that might stretch your neck a little bit actually, so let's allow for that. Look at the process of surrender inside. When you come down from a pose where there is exertion, notice what the surrender feels like. And turn your head to the other side for a few moments. And then place your hands beneath your shoulders and please press up and then reach back. And what you can do is place your hands under this blanket. So pick it up and make it as a little pillow for your head for child's pose. And walk your hands back towards your knees, and let's use that blanket roll to go under your knees for Shavasana. So when you come down to this Shavasana, give support to your knees. We're going to have a little Pranayama at the end of this practice, so I want you to rest deeply in your Shavasana. So what you can do is imagine again that there's this fisherman's net, and in that net we tend to catch our own thoughts, and every day we reel them back in, and the thoughts, they simmer in there inside. So I'm actually asking you to release or to surrender those thought patterns while you're here on your yoga mat. Let's imagine that this particular fisherman's net, the net of your attention, on the other side of the net it's open, and the thoughts of past or future, they drift off into the ocean, leaving you to be at the shore of the present moment. And the thoughts of liking or not liking, wanting or not wanting, they drift off into the ocean, allowing you to rest on the shore of the present moment. And the thoughts of self, thoughts of other, they are also left to drift off into the ocean, and your attention comes back to the present moment. Allow your mind to rest in the present, the body getting heavier as your attention comes back home to the shore of the present moment. Allow all 4 limbs and all 10 toes, 8 fingers, 2 thumbs, to be deeply heavy, profoundly relaxed. Let all 5 senses return to the here and now. Allow yourself to rest in the refuge, in the abode of the heart. Attention returning to the here and now. And when you sense the heaviness of the body against the ground, begin to imagine an ocean that surrounds you. It's gentle, it's unctuous. The rhythm is just right for you, as if you were resting on a float on the ocean. And the tempo is perfectly suited to what you need. And then lightly wiggle your toes, your fingers. You could imagine you're touching the ocean with the fingertips, just off the side of your float. And please bend your knees. And I'd like you to thoughtfully roll to one side and press yourself up to sitting when you're ready to. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu savidyam karavavai tejasvina varitamastu ma vibhishana You rise up, come up just very clearly. Rest your hands in your lap. Lift your heart, lift the crown of your skull. Bring your chin slightly in towards your throat. And making a very tiny straw of the lips. I'd like you to inhale slowly and then hold the breath for a moment at the top of the heart. Now close the right nostril, exhale left side only. Make a tiny straw, inhale slowly. Close the left nostril, exhale right. Release your hands. Relax your mind, your breath, and your body. And try to sense your mind basking in the present moment here. We know that in the teachings of yoga, the present moment is always available to us, and you're having contact with this in the here and now, and make a felt sense, a memory of this ever available refuge and the clear attention of your own heart. And bring your hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra. We'll chant Om Shanti together to finish. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti Om. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. So nice to see you before the practice and then the after practice you. Thank you for being here.